The Obama administration is pushing schools to begin celebrating something he's calling Undocumented Week. Muslims applauded while watching a Jewish terror victim slowly die. And Donald Trump has done what Barack Obama never could. He's produced a genuine, authentic, real, official, honest-to-goodness birth certificate.
Hello.
I'm here. Sorry about that. Guys, welcome to Riell Truth. The Obama administration is pushing schools to begin celebrating something that he's calling Undocumented Week. Muslims applauded while watching a Jewish terror victim die slowly. And Donald Trump has done what Barack Obama never could. He's produced a genuine, authentic, real, official, honest-to-goodness birth certificate. My name's Howard Riell, and this is Riell Truth. You're listening to the American Freedom Network, streaming live around the world at AmericanNewsNet.com. And on Facebook and YouTube and Tumblr and in the book, Riell Truth, Stay Angry. And of course, as always, broadcasting out across the Colorado Front Range on KHNC, Johnstown, Colorado, 1360 AM The Lion. Our call-in number, 877-254-7524. My friends, welcome back. You know, I don't watch a lot of television, but I was watching a tragic comedy today on television. It's called the Benghazi hearings. The tragedy was in the person of our former Secretary of State, now presidential candidate, Hillary Clinton, who tried to lie and weasel her way out of the fact that her incompetence and her lack of care allowed 4 Americans to be murdered in cold blood. The real tragedy was that every time Chairman Trey Gowdy turned left, someone jumped to Hillary's defense. Why is that? What's special about the left? Well, the left is where the Democrats sit. And every time a Democrat spoke, they attacked Trey Gowdy for trying to get at the truth. They ran interference for Hillary Clinton, and the reason is obvious. The Democrats, the liberals, care much less about the safety and security of Americans and America than they do with putting Hillary Clinton in the White House, because that will bring them power. So America doesn't matter. Truth doesn't matter. The poor individuals who were slaughtered by Muslims, they don't matter. What matters is power. What matters is Hillary winning. Well, I'm going to be playing a video. I'll probably make it the first video of the day. You'll hear a section of the hearing. You'll hear a Republican talking to Hillary and confronting her with some of her many lies. Apparently, the truth doesn't matter to Democrats either. Like I said, it was a tragic comedy. The comedy is that it's laughable that we've come to the point in America where an entire portion of the population, a big fat segment of our legislators, no longer care about truth, no longer care about common sense or decency or really American national security. All that matters is their own power base filling their pockets. It's a tragedy and it's a comedy. I think more tragedy than comedy, because I watched it and I'm not laughing. I will come back to this in my first video of the day. Let's go forward with the news. Item from Right Wing Watch. Right-wing radio host Michael Savage is not pleased that the Obama administration plans to accept more refugees from the Syrian civil war, warning last week that President Obama could use the refugees to create a personal army that would take control of the nation, pleading with Republicans to shut down the government until not only refugees but all immigrants are blocked from coming into the United States. Savage said, quote, "This madman in the White House," unquote, "wants to bring Syrian Muslim refugees while excluding Christians." Quote, "Are they members of ISIS? Is he bringing in an army to overthrow the people? What is he trying to do?" Unquote. Savage added, quote, "At the same time, he's bringing in 100,000, no one knows how many, Syrian males of military age. He's moving to disarm the American population. You want to paint a scary picture, a crazy picture, a conspiratorial picture? Go ahead. I just did." Unquote. My friends, as you saw, if you were looking at Facebook, you saw I posted Savage's comments. And I made my own comment that what he's suggesting is both possible and plausible. Look at the videos. The hordes of Muslims, the thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of Muslims streaming into Europe are all military-aged males, able-bodied males. There are no senior citizens, there are no women, there are no children. They are a de facto army. Now, given the fact that their holy book, the Quran, commands them to wage war against European governments, European people, and the American government, the American people, wage war against Christians and Jews, says to me that yes, this is a Trojan horse, and European countries are signing their own death warrants by bringing these Muslim soldiers, de facto soldiers at the very least, these would-be terrorists, into their countries. And by the way, no one has vetted these people. No one knows where they stand. They could be members of ISIS, or they may simply be Muslims who hate Christians and Jews and will do everything possible to kill them. Well, I'm not losing any sleep over what Europe is doing, except in the way that Europe's doings will affect America. But I see America going down the very same road, and it's a tragedy. There's no comedy here, just plain tragedy. Item from Natural News. The Obama administration's incessant pandering to illegal immigrants is continuing unabated, as many will be eligible to receive tens of thousands of your tax dollars as a reward for breaking U.S. laws and sneaking into the country. A new Congressional Research Service memo obtained by Breitbart News reveals that as a result of President Obama's controversial executive amnesty, illegal aliens who are able to get a Social Security number and a work permit may be able to file amended returns with the IRS. Breitbart News further noted, quote, the report comes following the Internal Revenue Service's confirmation that once illegal immigrants are granted Social Security numbers as a result of Obama's executive actions, they'll be able to file back tax returns and obtain up to 4 years of tax credits, including the Earned Income Tax Credit and the Child Tax Credit. In a separate report, the Associated Press said illegals, quote, will now be able to claim up to 4 years' worth of tax credits designed to benefit the working poor. For big families, that's a maximum of nearly $24,000, as long as they can document their earnings during those years, unquote. My friends, it is a slow-motion tragedy being played out before our eyes. It's Thursday, and it's Riell Truth. I'll be back.
It's nothing more than a shot in the dark if you're taking supplements or following health programs without an accurate scientific evaluation of your health. From the comfort of your home or office, you can work personally with health expert Eileen Durkee, a Dr. Wilson health practitioner, to scientifically evaluate your current health and provide you a personalized program and system and parts for do-it-yourself. With more than 20 years of specialized experience in disposal, let us know what your power concerns or proposals are. Reach us by phone or the internet. Call 303-239-9963. That's 303-239-9963. Or go to GreatPlainsSolar.com. Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirit, whether they are of God. Because many false prophets have gone into the world. By this you will know the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is of God, and every spirit that does not confess that Yeshua, Jesus, has come in the flesh is not of God. And this is the spirit of Antichrist, which you have already heard was coming and is now already in the world. 1 John 4:1.
All right, guys, welcome back to Riell Truth. Howard Riell behind the microphone. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I am not going to play the video of the Benghazi hearings for one reason only, because the sound is crummy. It wouldn't play right on the radio. You wouldn't be able to hear it on video, and for that reason, I'm not going to play it. But because I love you guys so much, I've copied the video. I've pasted the video onto my Facebook page, Riell Truth Radio. If you want some pleasure in life, watch it, because you'll see Hillary Clinton nailed for the lies that she's telling. My only caveat is, if you have a dog or a cat in the house, lock them away, because when they hear Hillary's voice, they will begin howling, and you don't want that. So let's go to this other video I have from the Steve Malzberg show. He's got my former guest, Robert Spencer, on, discussing the latest barbaric Muslim violence being perpetrated in the land of Israel, and the sound is good. Let's listen.
ongoing, and it's hair-raising. People don't even believe it. You know, when President Geller and I put up the ads that quoted Hamas saying killing Jews is worship and it brings us closer to God, most of the media coverage acted as if we had fabricated thousands or that this is parody. And they didn't realize this was actually Hamas television. This is the kind of thing that goes out regularly. And small books and textbooks, and by the way, Americans are subsidizing that through their tax dollars. We support the Palestinian Authority. And you know, and Mahmoud Abbas, that we don't have enough time to quickly weigh in on him, just recently saying he relishes every drop of Jewish blood spilled in Jerusalem. Yes, in Jerusalem, as you noted, it was never Palestinian. It was under Jordanian control and Gaza under Egypt, and you never heard about any cry for Palestinian statehood back in those days. Absolutely not. Hey, great to talk to you, Robert. We'll speak again soon. Pleasure, Steve. Thank you.
All right, guys, that's what truth sounds like. Compare that with what you're getting from the major media, the high-priced media. Item from the dailycaller.com, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump declared that in order to cut federal spending, he wants to eliminate the Department of Education. He said this on Fox News Sunday. Host Chris Wallace pressed Trump about how he planned to curb spending, asking him whether he will eliminate entire departments. Trump quickly indicated the Department of Education is first on his target list, though he said it only may be eliminated in order to dismantle Common Core. I'm not cutting services, but I'm cutting spending. But I may cut the Department of Education, Trump said. I believe Common Core is a very bad thing. I believe we should be, educating our children from Iowa, from New Hampshire, from South Carolina, from California, from New York. I think it should be local education, unquote. My friends, here's a great myth that somehow has become perpetuated, and it is only a myth. It's certainly not the truth. The myth is that in order to improve education, we need to spend more money. Well, that's never worked. We're spending an unbelievable amount of money, more than we used to, say, 60 years ago. But kids in grade school 60 years ago knew a hell of a lot more than kids know today. So why is that? Well, you got to look to the culture. You got to look to the culture. American culture does not value learning, education, scholasticism. Parents don't. Parents want kids to be happy. They want kids to like them. They want kids to be having a good time. And they don't want to do the hard, laborious, taskmaster things that parents must do. And so kids aren't pushed to learn. Learning isn't valued. And so kids aren't learning. It has nothing to do with the amount of money we spend on education. And the Department of Education is a complete joke. And yes, it should be eliminated ASAP. Item from the Rutherford Institute. Dateline, Richmond, Virginia. A federal court has rejected an attempt by a Virginia police officer to dismiss a lawsuit filed by the Rutherford Institute on behalf of a man who was arrested as he was engaging in a First Amendment protest against President Obama while lawfully carrying a rifle. The order entered in Brandon Howard versus John Hunter allows the lawsuit to move forward, in which Rutherford Institute attorneys assert that the police violated Howard's First Amendment right to free speech, Second Amendment right to bear arms, and Fourth Amendment right to be free from a groundless arrest when they confronted him with guns drawn and ordered him onto the ground on the unfounded belief that Howard was violating the law by being in public with a rifle slung over his shoulder, when in fact his possession and display of the rifle was wholly legal and did not make him subject to an arrest. Soon after the incident, the City of Hopewell Police Department has admitted in writing that the incident involved a violation of department policy, unquote. What they didn't say is whether or not the officer who arrested this guy was censured in any way, let alone fired. I certainly hope he was. Item from CBS. The first ever Michael Jordan store is about to open right here in Chicago, and it's drawing serious sneaker collectors from all over the country. There's already a long line outside 32 South State Street in the Loop. That's where the new Jordan shop will open its doors Saturday. Some people started lining up as early as Monday, and some came from as far away as Las Vegas and Baltimore. They don't know exactly what they'll find inside, but they're pumped. Quote, from what I'm hearing, there's going to be shoes worth thousands of dollars, unquote, said one fan. So my friends, these young men and women, I presume they were women, sitting on the sidewalk for days in order to buy expensive sneakers. Yeah, you heard. You heard me right. There's no static on the line. They're sitting there and BSing with their friends waiting to buy sneakers. That's America in the 21st century. Item from WPTZ.com, Dateline, Burlington, Vermont. On 3 separate nights this month, vandals irreparably damaged the smiling Ronald McDonald statue that sat outside the Ronald McDonald House in Burlington. Isn't this sad, said Christine Bickford, the house's executive director, as she showed the ruined fiberglass body of the famous clown. Unquote. My friends, in the same country in which people will sit on a sidewalk for days to buy expensive sneakers, there are also people who have nothing better to do than to damage a statue of a clown. This, too, is America in the 21st century, and it connects with Donald Trump's comments about the Department of Education. I'm guessing that the people sitting on the sidewalk for days did not bring a whole bunch of books with them, and I'm guessing that the idiot who defaced the statue also is not a reader. Because American kids no longer are readers in the main. A lot are, but most aren't. Too many fun things to do. And by the way, they don't see their parents reading either. Item from the Daily Mail. 2 nightclubbers have allowed themselves to be filmed stripping naked for a chance to win the now outdated iPhone 5S. The ladies, one of whom was married, whipped off their clothes on stage in front of stunned guests. At one point, the MC snatched away the underwear of one of the contestants as she tried to cover her modesty and threw them into the crowd. As she turns around to face the other way, she dances to the music and is joined on stage by a second woman. The embarrassing dance routine happened in the city of Brezhniki, also known for its terrible air pollution, in central Russia's Permykray region. And up for grabs was an iPhone 5S. Unquote. My friends, lest you think that only American society is in the garbage, not so. All over the world, people, societies, cultures are becoming garbage. There's no nice way to say it. Human beings are becoming garbage. Now, I could give an entire course, sociology, anthropology course on why this is happening. All you need to know is it's happening. And you need to stop it in your own family, your own community. Item from Breitbart. A huge blaze swept through a migrant camp in Slovenia today after angry migrants set fire to their own tents in protest at their treatment. Women and children were evacuated from the camp in Brežice on the border with Croatia as firefighters battled the fire. The migrants were reportedly angry at delays in registering them and moving them onto the Austrian border in less than 24 hours, witnesses said. Unquote. My friends, these Muslim migrants waiting for their handouts set their own tents ablaze in order to protest their treatment. Well, I don't think that they were forceful enough. I think if they really want to get the point across, the migrants ought to set themselves ablaze. Item from RealNewsRightNow.com, Dateline, Window Rock, Arizona. The U.S. Department of State announced today it will grant upwards of 250,000 Syrian refugees temporary amnesty in the United States. Over the next 4 months, State Department officials working in conjunction with FEMA will begin processing and transporting the refugees to sparsely populated parts of Arizona and North Dakota. Unquote. And my friends, if it's not done quickly, I assume these migrants also will begin setting things ablaze. Yeah. We'll be back.
It's nothing more than a shot in the dark if you're taking supplements or following health programs without an accurate scientific evaluation of your health. From the comfort of your home or office, you can work personally with health expert Eileen Durfee, a Dr. Wilson health practitioner who scientifically evaluates your current health and provides you a personalized program and affordable products. Get real results, get nutritional balancing, and GoHealthyNext.com. Call 866-463-4533. That's 866-463-4533. An emergency preparedness plan for your
energy can be scaled to fit any situation, from complete power independence to backup power for the short term. Our expertise focuses on standalone power, but we have extensive experience with utility interactive systems as well. Custom tailored capabilities as modest as emergency lighting all the way to commercial scale power. Great Plains Power is a full service company. We service everything we sell. We provide and design turnkey packages, custom design system, and parts for do-it-yourself. With more than 20 years of specialized experience at your disposal, let us know what your power concerns or goals are. Reach us by phone or the internet. Call 303-239-9963. That's 303-239-9963. Or go to greatplains.solar.com. We know our government is out of control. It's no longer our servant, it's become our master. Listen to me. Liberty Forum with the Freedom Rider will answer the question, what can we do? Our freedom and liberty is at stake. It's time to act. Those who have given everything for this country would expect no less. Tune in to the new Liberty Forum radio show Fridays at 9 a.m. Elizabeth Lockerpine and Elizabeth reminds our listeners that the drug problem is well documented. We know our kids will be approached at early ages. We want to applaud the youngsters and urging that you have the strength to say no to drugs. They provide examples to their peers and families to be the best they can be. That's from Elizabeth Lockerpine, located at 366 Grant Street in Elizabeth, serving our area since 1943 and specializing in naturalized H&B and pork and complete custom processing. Call 303-688-2240. That's 303-688-2240.
All right, guys, welcome back to Riell Truth. In the last week, Jews have been attacked and killed on the streets of Jerusalem. Back in the 1980s, Rabbi Meir Kahane, Hashem Yikom Damo, knew that this would happen. He predicted it would happen, and he warned with everything in his disposal. He warned Israelis to prevent it from happening. The leftists in the Knesset, the Israeli government, never did. And so everything that Rabbi Kahane said back then is every bit as relevant today as today's headlines. By the way, November 5th will mark 25 years since the rabbi was murdered on the streets of New York by a Muslim. Let's go back in time. Really, since yesterday was Back to the Future Day, let's go back to the future, because what Rabbi Kahane said is applicable today, and it will be applicable going forward until Israel finally wises up and gets rid of the Palestinians. Here's Rabbi Kahane from the 1980s.
Every single day there's another Jewish victim. As long as the Arabs are here inside Israel.
My friends, that is what a leader sounds like. That's what someone with foresight and vision sounds like. That is the sound of common sense and sanity. And it was Muslim violence and insanity that took Rabbi Kahane out of the world almost 25 years ago. I've told the story on this show before. I was supposed to be there the night he was murdered. I wasn't. We'll talk more about Rabbi Kahane next week. For right now, the takeaway is this. To anyone with eyes to see, to anyone who can think logically and rationally, the murders in Jerusalem this week could have been predicted decades ago. In fact, were predicted decades ago. And it is the Israeli government that's done nothing real, nothing substantive to prevent it from happening. And so where does the blame lie? Of course, the blame lies on the Palestinian Nazi murdering terrorists, obviously. But a share of that blame, share of the blood that was spilled, is also on the hands of the leftist Jews in the Knesset, who would rather play politics and rather please the editorial writers of the New York Times than safeguard the citizens of their own country. That is the true tragedy. Item from thegatewaypundit.com. The latest wave of migrants flooding into Slovenia on the way to Austria is all men. It's like an army marching, unquote. Already talked about that. The truth is the truth. Item from Jihad Watch. A California Muslim wanted to blow up a daycare center because it was, quote, Zionist. He also wanted to bomb the Los Angeles subway system. Where did this convert to Islam learn his understanding of his new religion? Was he radicalized on the internet? Did his local mosque make any attempt to counter that quote-unquote radicalization? Why wasn't there presumably true peaceful Islam able to withstand the appeal of the supposedly twisted hijacked version? The fellow whose name was Toussaint is being held without bail at the Sacramento County Jail. He's been described in court papers as boasting of wanting to bomb the Los Angeles subway system and blow up his infant daughter's daycare center because it was a, quote, Zionist Reformed church, unquote. He allegedly boasted of wanting to train Islamic State fighters, quote, I'm going to be a commander and I'm going to be in the front of every single newspaper in the country, unquote. He allegedly told the informant. Unquote, I'd like to thank Mr. Toussaint for making my case for me that America can't afford to have any Muslims living here. Item from the Mail Online. A British ISIS fighter has carried out a devastating suicide bomb attack near the jihadi-held city of Ramadi in Iraq. An ISIS statement claimed that the fighter, known only as Abu Omar al-Britani, had taken part in a twin suicide bomb attack, killing and wounding at least 80 people. Unquote. My friends, as far as I know, America is not yet shutting mosques and transferring Muslims out. Wait! You'll be hearing about bombs killing 80 Americans before too long. Is that when wisdom will come, or will liberals still fight against it then as well? Item from The Local via Pamela Geller. 8 young men appeared in court in Cologne on Tuesday, charged with robbing churches and schools to finance ISIS's religious war in Syria. When they broke into churches, they stole collection boxes, crosses, and other objects dedicated to church services and religious veneration, prosecutors allege. From the schools, the men stole laptops, money, and a cash card, which they used to finance jihad fighters in the Syrian civil war, alleged Chief Prosecutor Nadia Guterman. Unquote. My friends, the 8 young men, the animals, who've been breaking into churches and schools, they're law-abiding German citizens. You can't do anything to them until the very second when they cease to be law-abiding. Well, by then it's kind of sort of too late, right? Item from Aritz Sheva, the former chairman of the BBC, has attacked the corporation over its reportings of the recent spate of Arab terrorist attacks in Israel. Lord Michael Grade, a member of the House of Lords for the Conservative Party, claimed the BBC had failed to show impartiality and focused his fierce criticism in particular on a recent report by BBC correspondent Orla Guerin, which he said promoted an equivalence between Palestinian terrorists and their victims, unquote. Well, what do you know, my friends? The BBC is anti-Semitic. I got another news flash for you. 2 + 2 it equals 4. We'll be back.
I'm Joe Jacob, CEO of the Patriot Trading, and I would like to encourage everyone to make sure they are prepared financially as the Federal Reserve continues to destroy the value of the dollar. Since the closing of the gold window in 1971, the Federal Reserve has led the way in the explosion of debt and the devaluing of your money. They openly say that they need 2% inflation, which simply means they hope to devalue your money, and they want to do this every single year after year. I know it's hard to understand, but the Federal Reserve believes in prosperity through debt and growth via the devaluation of your future. To learn more about how to protect yourself, visit us at All-American.
All right, guys, that's the end of the video. It's the end of the week. I'll be back on Monday with more Riell Truth. Find this video on Facebook, on YouTube, on Tumblr. Put it out there in the cyber universe. Share it with everybody because these are issues that everybody needs to hear about and discuss. Hasta luego.